Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Portsmouth property update. And my name's Tom Soane. Thank you very much if you've tuned in. So this week, I've got some crackers for you here. I'm going to give you an update on what's happening in the lettings world right now. There's been some great movement, and I want to update you on how that's going, especially if you're a landlord at the moment. You've got a property that you're thinking about renting out or selling. This might help you in that department. But also I'm going to show you 4 properties today, and I've got one decent buy to let, which you can just go and pick up now. It's on the open market. It's all come on the market this week. This is only this week's worth of properties, but you can go and pick this property up right now. And I've also got 3 auction properties for you. And these properties have come to the market this week. They're going to auction, and I think if you can get to that auction and pick these up for a half decent price, then you would have done really well anyway. So I've just noticed I've got the date wrong here. What is it? That says the 12th of June, but it's not the 12th of June. It's the 19th of June. Well done, Tom. I'll get a round of applause for that. Brilliant. Anyway, let's crack on. What do you want to see first? Do you want the lettings update, or do you want the properties? I reckon you probably want the properties first, don't you? The lettings update is pretty boring, but the properties, that's what we want. So let's kick off. Now, the first property I've got for you here, let me just grab it now and share my screen. There we go. Hopefully you can see that screen now. So this is a 2-bed house, and this is on the market with Bushnell Porter. And Bushnell Porter are over in Southsea in Marmion Road. There's a ton of agents down there. So if you take a walk down there, then you'll see all of them, all just waiting to pounce. So the guys over at Bushnell Porter, good group of lads, they know what they're doing over there. So this property's on the market with Bushnell Porter, and it's in Lynn Road, which is in central Portsmouth, around the North End area. And check this out. So this is on the market for 160 grand. I think that's a really good bargain as it is. It's not the best bargain, but it's a good bargain. And actually, if you can get this property for 152, 153, then I think you've nailed a really good deal. Now, it does need some work. We love properties that need work. It means we can buy them cheap. We can add value. And if you can add value, that means you can get a better yield, better return on your investment. So let's check this out. Lovely. Look at this. Now, first thing you'll notice is that beautiful radiator or heater there, which everyone probably remembers from way back in the day. But look, this needs, it looks like there's a little bit of damp over here. It's not the biggest problem in the world. It just needs to be fixed. No problem. Wallpaper on the walls, that'll need to come down. Carpets as well, that'll need to come up. Unless you like the carpets, I can't comment on that. Same room twice, and this is another beautiful heater. So wallpaper again. Wallpaper again. Kitchen. The kitchen doesn't look too old, so I'm not 100% sure you need to do too much with this kitchen. You might just need to snazz it up a little bit. Snazz isn't a word I use too often, and I promise I'll try not to use it again. But you can see that it's a half-decent kitchen. I'm not a big fan of the colour, but that doesn't matter. I'd probably just paint this all white. I'd probably put nice dark grey tiles on the floor or tile effect lino. It's reasonably cheap to do, but looks great. And it's all in the fashion at the moment. So there's another shot. That's a better shot of the kitchen, actually. It shows you the size. It's a decent-sized kitchen. And here's the bathroom. Again, I'd probably white this bathroom out, but look, you've got a sink there. You've got bath here. I don't think you need to replace anything in this bathroom. You probably just need to redecorate. Upstairs, there's more wallpaper. Carpets need to come up again. Who chooses these carpets, by the way? But this isn't a big job. I guess this is what I'm getting at. This is not a big job. I don't think you need to spend too much more than about 10 or 12 grand on this property. Once you've fixed the damp in the lounge there, and you've sorted out the wallpaper and the flooring, garden doesn't need touching at all. I don't think the kitchen needs too much. I don't think the bathroom needs too much. So once you've done that, I think you've got a cracking little property. It's definitely going to rent out for about $825, something like that. If I was going in to view this place, and by the way, Bushnell Porter have put an online viewing here, so you can check it out now. Go and have a look. It's Portsmouth. Just search Portsmouth Properties, 160,000, two-bed house. You can actually pick that up. If you can make an offer of 150 grand on that place and then negotiate from there, that's what I'd be doing, because the guys at Bushnell Port, they'll tell you how to do it. They'll tell you what offers are stupid and what aren't. But that's a cracking little buy-to-let investment, that one. And also you're going to get a decent tenant that comes to that area. It's in and around the North End area, so you'll get working professionals there. You might even get a small family. They'll definitely be there for around 8 years. And you'd take that as a return, wouldn't you? Just replacing the tenant every 8 years? Yeah, you'd have that. So pick up the phone, call Bushnell Porter, or in fact, get onto Rightmove and have the online viewing. Let's see if we can quickly do that now. Virtual tour. Oh, you've got to request more details. That's a shame. But it says that there is an online viewing option. So give the guys a call and they'll talk you around. Now, here's the first auction property. This is a 3-bed house. Oh, going up in the world in Vernon Road. And this has got a guide price of 150,000. Now, this is around the Copner area of Portsmouth. So let's check this one out. So look, this needs a bit more work, I think, than the last place. But I actually, look, looks are always deceiving in these places. Some people go into a property like this and it just looks hideous. But actually, once you strip everything back and empty it all out, they might not be so bad. So the way I see this property here, the walls actually don't look terrible. Once you've given them a lick of paint, look, I'm assuming there's no serious damp issues or anything like that, but once you've given them a lick of paint and this ceiling rose up here, that adds a bit of value. Paint that white, get rid of this hideous orange that someone decided is a good idea. That's going to be a nice, big, bright, airy lounge. I like that. Big kitchen. Again, look, you could be really fussy and replace all of those kitchen units, right? But I don't think you can reorganize it. I don't think you can redesign it. The layout of the kitchen is probably the optimal for creating space. If anything, you might want to add some more to it. But certainly you'd want to refloor it. You'd want to decorate it. You might even decide to sand those cupboard doors down and paint it white. Either way, I don't think that kitchen is dramatically in need of attention. By the way, this has got a guide price of 150,000. So if I'm right, and this one doesn't actually need much work, Pearson's are normally quite bang on the money when it comes to the guide price. So the next one here, again, carpet and walls all the time. I can see a slight darkening over here, so that may have been a leak at some point. So that could be a potential issue, but if it's just a leak, then they can be fixed. That's not the end of the world. I quite like this feature here. So this is the classic middle room, the dining room in the downstairs of the property, which leads on through to the kitchen. And these rooms are normally used for lounges. So normally out here, you'll have a lounge in the middle room and kitchen at the back. It's just the way it works. But I can see that it's got gas central heating. I can see that it needs a lick of paint. That floor looks absolutely fine to me. And here's the bathroom. Again, you've got, it looks like this might have been an elderly person's property or perhaps a disabled person's property, because you've got toilet, sink, shower, no bath, but it looks like there's some sort of help there for somebody who's having a shower. Anyway, not a big problem, not too much to do. Up into the bedrooms, you want to whip that wallpaper off, get that wallpaper off there. Now, that always poses a bit of a problem. It can pose a problem if you're going to take wallpaper off the walls. You need to just be careful that you're not pulling plaster off the walls too. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's just an added cost. It's not too expensive to replaster, but it's something that you need to watch out for if you see lots of wallpaper about. A quick test, by the way, if you're going around a property and you see wallpaper, just press your hand against the wallpaper. If you hear a bit of a crunching sound, or you can feel any sort of white chalky residue on that wallpaper, then that means there could be a few little problems underneath. It's not the end of the world. It's not a big problem, but could be something to just watch out for. Garden, once you've tidied that up, again, this could be deceiving. If you have a look here, the patio's already there. You've got flower beds up the side and some flower beds both sides. Now, once you've cleaned all that up, given it a jet wash, got rid of the weeds, that could be a really cracking little garden there. And a nice family are going to move in here. It's got a separate toilet from the bathroom, which is always handy, especially for dad. Gives him 10 minutes away from the kids. But certainly you'd want to look when you see Artex walls like this, you want to run your hand along it. If you feel some sort of white powdery residue, then that means you might need to skim it a little bit. But there seems to be some tiling on the walls there too. They might want to come down, and this might be in need of a job in there. But you don't need to replace a toilet. You don't need to replace a sink. It's fine. The highlight of the whole house, as you can probably see, I'm a fan of pink. Pink is the new black. Pink is the new white, whatever you want to call it. This room is pink. So whoever lived here loved pink. So well done you. So this one is going to auction with Pearson's. It's only come to the market this week. Let's see if we can see a date. It's on the 9th of September at 11 o'clock. So get in touch with Pearson's. They'll tell you where the auction is going to take place. But if you can pick that up for 150, I'd probably flip it. I'd probably sell that. I think that's a cracking little place. You're going to get at least 200 grand at the back end for that, so to speak. Maybe even a bit more, because it seems like a decent sized property and it's in a good area, a good popular area around there. So go and pick that property up. What do you think of this property, by the way? Has anyone seen this on the market? Has anyone been to view it? Or is anyone interested in it? Let me know. I might go and have a look at this. I'll tell you what, Lee and Jody, if you're watching this, make a note of this one. Vernon Road, 3-bed auction on the 9th of September. We'll get along to that one. So if anyone's watching this and you want to buy it, I'll race you. It could be me bidding against you. You won't miss me. I'll be wearing this. Anyway, next one. Now, the reason I've pulled this house out, it's actually not up for a very good price, in my opinion. I think this is overpriced as a guide price, but that's only my opinion. Fox and Sons, they've been around for 2,000 years. They know what they're doing. They know how to value a property. I know the guys over there very well, and they're very good estate agents. So right here, the reason I pulled this one out is because I do think it's a good opportunity if you can pick it up at the right price. But this used to be my old stomping ground. This used to be where I ran around as a kid. And I can remember causing havoc around here. Well, maybe not. But I can remember running around here, and my family live in the area. So, so this brings back fond memories. Anyway, not this house, but this one. The reason I think this is overpriced is, number one, I think the front of the house is hideous, and I think that would probably benefit and increase in value if you sorted out that front there. You can see what I'm talking about here. Look, I think everyone would agree with me. But anyway, this property is on the market now, and yeah, this one's got wallpaper on the walls, it's got carpets, but actually when you look at it, sometimes the older houses aren't too badly looked after. Before I carry on, cheers everybody. I've got a nice Rioja at the moment, so it's Friday night, why not? Here's a cheers to all the property investors. Anyway, so this one, as you can see, you want to pull the carpets up, you want to get the wallpaper off. Or do you? Actually, the walls don't look too bad. You might be able to chuck some paint on top of that wallpaper, save yourself some money, but do that wallpaper test I told you. If you hear a crunch, then there's problems underneath. Here's that famous middle room I've told you about a couple of times now. That means that this will probably end up being a lounge, but in this case, it's not. Now, these are always good size rooms, and some people, if you can see here, look, some people turn that into a back garden door, a back door, a garden door, whatever you want to call it. I can see it's got central heating, which is a good sign. I'd be interested to know how old the boiler is. Anything more than 10 years, that will want replacing. Not urgently, as long as it's been taken care of every year, but generally speaking, once they hit 10 years, they start coming into a few problems. They start costing you a bit more money. So kitchen. Now it's a bit dark, but I think that's mainly the lighting. It might even be the actual photo itself. But look at the size of it. It's a cracking big kitchen. Now I don't think you can rearrange this. I'd leave that as it is. And it looks like an older kitchen, but it looks like it could be modernized. If you look at the actual carcass of the kitchen, once you take those doors off, paint that carcass white, you could just stick some white doors on that kitchen and you've got yourself a nice, bright, new-looking kitchen. You could even replace the door handles on those units if you want, or you could go nuts and replace the whole thing. It depends on what your return on investment targets are. Me, I probably wouldn't, because I think sometimes you can go a bit overboard with stuff, and actually this will rent out to, again, working professionals, a small family, a couple, those sorts of people, and it's all relative to the price. You might go and spend 5-6 grand on a kitchen, but not increase the rent value. In fact, you might increase it by a tenner. What's the point? You might as well just keep the kitchen as it is, save your 6 grand, and then put someone in for 10 quid less a month. People will still move into it because it's all relative, isn't it? So bathroom is stunning. I don't mean that. Now, you'd probably want a new toilet in here. It's not essential, but you'd probably want a new toilet. This one looks a bit old school, but the bath and the sink look fine. Decent little garden. Don't need to do anything in there. Absolutely not. Save yourself some money. And do you know what? These rooms, the decor at the moment looks fine. I'm not saying that you'd want to keep it in this style, but I can't see any dark patches. I can't see any glaring problems that are telling me this place needs a complete overhaul. Do you agree with me if you're looking at this as well? And look, we've got another bedroom here, which, again, same thing. And they're decent sized bedrooms. I think that's a cracky little house. Now, it's an end terrace. Once you've done that place up, it's probably, again, worth a couple of 100,000, 195 to 200, that sort of area. But that's why I think this is slightly overpriced. I do think you're going to want to spend about 10 to, if you want to go nuts with the kitchen, 10 to 15. And once you've spent on stamp duty, auction fees, then I think you're going to need to start questioning how much profit you're going to make, especially if you're going to spend 15 grand and you're going to make 10 grand profit. You have to pay out some tax on that money coming in. If you're buying it personally, it's income tax. If you're buying it as a company, then it's corporation tax, which is 20%. So I don't think there's enough profit in here to flip to sell. But I do think if you can pick this up at the right price, that's why I think this is overpriced. If you can pick this up at the right price, then there's certainly some margin in there for a good return on investment if you rent it out. If I was going to buy this as a flip, again, I'd want it for about 150. That would be my area on this. So if you're going to go to the auction, stick a 150 bid in. I don't think you get it. You're going to get it because I think you'll see some, how can I put it? I think you'll see some owner occupiers go for this one because there's not quite as much to do and someone could move into it and do it. So I don't think you'd pick this up for a bargain for an investment at an auction, but I wanted to show you because it's on the market now. So that's on with Fox & Sons. Give the guys a shout. They'll help you out. Maybe there is some sort of level where you can make an offer prior to the auction. Who knows? Let me know how you get on. What do you think of this house, by the way? What do you think of that front there? Who's done that? Who even does that sort of thing to the front of a house? I'd completely redo that. Anyway, another reason why it's a bit overpriced. Here's another 2-bedroom houses, and you're seeing a bit of a pattern here. I like houses. Houses for me, if you can pick them up the right price, they're really good investments in my opinion because they're safe. You're not having to deal with freeholders and leases, and you don't have to look. Sometimes you can buy a good leasehold property and it's a really good return if you take into account service charges and maintenance, but I like houses. Having said that, I've just bought a flat, so maybe I'm sort of contradicting myself there, but like I say, if you get a good deal, you get a good deal. So right here we've got a 2-bed house in Toronto Road. By the way, I'll tell you all about my flat in another video because it's a really good deal. We're going to do quite well out of that one. Toronto Road is in the sort of North End Hillsy area. North End area. It's a really good, popular area for rentals. So I like this one as a buy-to-let investment. Again, I think this is a little bit overpriced as a guide, but I'll let you guys be the judges of that. What that basically means is this, don't necessarily blame the estate agent for this, by the way, because in many situations, an estate agent will go out, value a property accurately, and then an owner will say, well, no, I want this much money. And that's difficult for an estate agent to overcome. So I suspect that's probably happened in this case, given the condition of the property. But go and speak to the guys over at Man in London Road in Portsmouth, just next to my office. Well, kind of up the road a little bit. Good group of agents in there. They've been around since the dinosaurs. So what they don't know about property is not worth knowing. So let's have a look at this place. Check out that kitchen. What a beauty. Now, I actually think that there's some potential here, because that floor doesn't look like it needs anything. It's just a lot of stuff. That's all this is. And that, annoyingly, that puts off people. Puts off people from looking at it because they can't see past all the stuff. Now, what the owner should have done is perhaps moved some of this stuff, made it a little bit less cluttered, because you're looking at this picture now and you're thinking you're not fully able to appreciate what there is in that property unless you have a bit of a trained eye and you do this all the time. But this is fine. Look at this. Floorboards look fine. Walls look fine. That looks like wallpaper, but it's probably just easily painted. I don't think you need to take that down. The walls actually look pretty sort of standard here. You've got to keep these. By the way, do me a favor, everybody. If you're buying property, if you're buying a Victorian property, it's actually Edwardian, but everyone calls it Victorian. If you're buying a Victorian property, then do me a favor. Keep all the original stuff here, because that stuff's just timeless and priceless. And if you ever come to sell it, people buy things for those original features. So do me a favor. Make sure you keep all that stuff in, no matter what you do to the property. Good size room here, and all of these rooms, like I said, they're used as the lounges. Good sized garden. It's got this little man cave at the bottom. That's probably racist now, or sorry, sexist now, isn't it? Man cave. It could be a woman cave if you want. And here we go, is more of that kitchen. Look, I would have probably got rid of this stuff. This is just too much stuff to have in photos, but in a way that's good for you as a property investor, because it does, believe it or not, it does put people off from going to the next stage, picking up the phone, speaking to the agent and going out and viewing it, because some people find it difficult to see past all that stuff, and I can't blame them. So here's more kitchen right here, and there's no banister on that staircase. So if I was going to rent this place out, I'd probably, let's go back to that. I'd probably stick a banister up there. This seems to be some sort of conservatory from back in the great medieval times. But either way, it's a conservatory, and that's a selling point. Now, if you want to get fussy and add value, I'd probably change that roof so the whole thing is a bit lighter and a bit more modern. But certainly doesn't look like a bad space at all. Now, I see what's happened here. Let me show you the floor plan. So this property would have been a 3-bedroom property at one point. And this is why I wanted to show you this property as well, because this is the bathroom right here. Lovely floor plan, by the way, man. Great floor plan. This would have been a bedroom at some point. Somebody has taken the bathroom from down here somewhere up to here and sacrificed a bedroom. It wouldn't take a great deal to turn it back, because first of all, you've got some space out the back here. That kitchen was huge if you remember. You could probably put that bathroom back down, and then you've got a 3-bedroom house if the price is right. If you're going to add, I don't know, if you're going to add 15 grand to the value of the property, but it's going to cost you 15 grand to do it, don't bother, because you can only mortgage 75% of the value of the property. So rule of thumb, if you're going to do something like that, only spend a maximum of 75% of the increased value that you can generate by the addition, amendment, the change of layout, whatever job you're going to do. Never spend more than 75% of the value increase. because then you can mortgage all that same the money you've spent on that, you can mortgage it back out. So I hope that helps. Anyway, bathroom, not too badly. Someone's got a bit overboard here. They've tiled everything up, and flooring looks great, and the walls look great. I don't like the color, but doesn't matter. They look great. Actually, I don't mind that. Actually, I don't like this tile. I don't like all of this stuff here. That's not very nice. But I do like this blue, actually. I think I do, in a weird way. Good sized bedroom, nice big double. And look at that. Now, again, just too much stuff. By the way, this coffee table here is probably quite expensive. So if you can get them to leave that in there, that's probably worth a few £100 on its own. That looks like Indian hardwood. Anyway, what a geek I am, eh? So look at this property. Go and see this property. Don't spend £170,000 on it. If you turn it into a 3-bedroom house, then you're going to put it up to around 210, that sort of area. And if you can do that and you're making a good profit from it, sell it. However, if you can get it for anything in the late 50s, late 150s, then I think rent this place out and that will work just fine for you. I reckon that could, as a 2-bed, could fetch you 825, maybe 835, that sort of area, because it's a popular area to move into. But I don't think that's going to go for 170. So I'll be happy. I'll happily be wrong about that. And if the owner gets 170 for that, then well done to you. So those are some properties that are on the market this week. Some of them are absolutely brilliant. And I tell you what, please let me know. I still haven't heard from anyone yet as to whether they've bought anything or whether they've actually gone and seen any of these properties. Oh, hang on. Vanessa said that she spoke to Pearson's about it, said they won't look at anything near 150. Pointless guide price. Yeah. Well, do you know what? We'll see what happens, because an offer is an offer. And a lot of people do consider things once you put an offer on the table. They don't have to accept it, but put an offer on the table. Make yourself appealing to them. That's a whole different video. How can you make yourself appealing to a seller, to an agent, to an auctioneer as a buyer? That's a whole different thing. I'll go through that another time. By the way, who likes this picture here? My nan did this picture. It's Spinnaker Tower. She just put it together with a charcoal. Anyway, so look, let me tell you what's happening in the lettings market. And I've got some great news for everybody who is worried about what's happening in lettings right now. The market is moving. Now, do not include student properties in that. Student properties are not moving at the moment, but you probably already knew that. There have been, this week, 47 new listings that have come to the market. That's great. That shows that people are coming to the market, and properties, this is in Portsmouth, by the way, properties are coming to the market and people are starting to list their properties. It also means tenants are moving out, and they're able to move out because they're able to move into something else. But the best part about it, and I want you to get your calculators out here, because 47 properties come to the market, 44 new lets. That means lets agreed have been done. 44 out of 47. So that means there's big demand right now. So do me a favor, Mr. and Mrs. Landlord, right now, pick the phone up to your agent who's advertising your property, including mine. I want to hear from you. And if that property has just come to the market, stick the rent up by a £5 or a £10, something. Don't go nuts. Don't go greedy. But I tell you what, there is demand right now. I'm seeing masses of an influx of inquiries for properties right now, especially the lower end of the market. The lower end of the market, where you've got flats that are on for the right price. Look, let me just quickly interrupt myself and say that if your property's not on the market for the right price, it's not going to rent regardless of whether there's demand or not. So if it's not rented out yet and it's empty and it's been empty for a little while, that's because it's overpriced or it's just a terrible property. But anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Landlord, get that rent up by 5-10 quid. Please, please, please. Even my landlords, come on, get them on and we'll get them up. So I can't remember what I was saying before I got into that, but I think that's the end. I've been here for 29 minutes and 45 seconds. So we'll wrap it up. Now, if you think this was helpful, if you think anything that I've told you today was helpful or useful or fun or interesting, then please do me a favor, share it round. Let's help everybody out. Let's get these properties sold. The agents could do with a hand. And you know what I could do with the feedback? It's really useful to hear that what I'm doing is good. So I'm going to carry on doing these anyway. And if there's anything you want me to comment on or anything you want me to give advice on or opinions on that you think might help other people, then please do let me know. So put some comments wherever that is, around here somewhere. Send me an email. It's tom@pinkstreet.co.uk, or you can just message me through Facebook. And if you are a Portsmouth landlord, then you need to join the Portsmouth Landlords Facebook group, because if you're not part of that group, then you're not getting up-to-date information about legal changes, legislation, and new processes, news, bad tenants, excellent contractors. That's where it's all going on. So just search on Facebook here, somewhere like that, Portsmouth Landlords. Join the group. The cover picture is those famous bus shelters from Southsea, so you won't miss it. Join us. There's loads of us on there, and we're all sharing some really valuable stuff. Now, I think I've waffled on for long enough. Who agrees? I think that's probably all of you. I'm going to finish off my wine. I just want to say thank you and cheers to everybody who's watched, and also thank you and cheers to everybody who's going to watch once this video has been posted. So remember, if you need any help on anything to do with lettings or being a landlord or property investment or sales or mortgages, now just drop me a note. I can help you with all of it. And you just need to ask. It'll be confidential, and I hope we can help you. But totally free, just totally free. Just ask me. That's what I'm here for. Right, that's it. Good night, everybody. Enjoy your Fridays and have a great weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.